Being that you're a senior right now, possibly moving towards the 22 class, you've been playing basketball for a good part of your life. When did you fall in love with the sport of basketball?
It wasn't until high school when I became really serious. I used to play for like the local AAU team, and then high school came, and that's a huge commitment, practices every single day, games, and a totally different style of basketball too.
Mhm.
um I started playing for Exodus and working out. I actually started working out with you then. That
Mhm.
was when I started working out with Team Footprints, and I just really realized like, oh, like I could play in college. I never like thought about that or knew I could, and then started grinding.
Okay. Follow-up question. When did you start playing? How old were you?
Since I could like even walk, I feel like I was always, my brother played basketball, my dad played basketball. So my brother played for the Gauchos, and I would
Uh-huh.
always be the little girl running around the gym, playing with the basketballs.
Okay.
So
Okay.
ever since I could, I have.
So you've been, you can say at least 12 to 13 years you've been around the game of basketball.
Yeah.
Okay. So would you consider yourself somebody that's a student of the game?
Oh yeah, totally.
Okay, we're gonna get back to that point. All right, boom. That's that. You're up.
Why did you start training?
I felt the need, or I saw a need as a high school coach and a former college coach. I saw a need for players to work on their fundamental skills as opposed to relying solely on their athletic ability. I felt that the shooting was at a low time, an all-time low. I thought, and still think to a certain extent. Um, and working hard is something that I thought lacked within New York City, and also having an opportunity to travel the world, seeing that that's not only relegated to New York, but it's throughout the world, as people aren't willing to work as hard as they say. I think more people are great on the Instagrams and the mixtapes as opposed to actual real life of working hard as far as basketball is concerned. I'm sure it applies to other sports also. And we're using basketball as a microcosm for life. um, I felt that the next generation needed to understand what it really meant to work their ass off. So that's why I got into skill development.
Damn, Mark.
That's it. No follow up. No rebuttal question.
I do.
Okay,
So what's your objective of Team Footprints?
great question. Again, in addition to helping the next generation and hopefully the following generation as far as basketball skill development, which translates into life development, um, being a source of a resource for all coaches, players, parents, where they can come to us and get an unbiased, expert analysis of basketball, and then what we can provide them as far as making their teams and maybe helping them become a better coach and also trainer.
Yeah, I mean, some of the best times are at Team Footprints workouts. I can tell you that.
Okay. All right. That's it.
Yeah, your turn.
Okay, for that question. All right. So let me think of a question for you. In a perfect world, who would you compare your game to, and who did you idolize, or want to be like growing up as a basketball player?
Hmm. Well, more recently, I guess I could say that I've seen myself like idolizing in the NBA Duncan Robinson, because his story is like amazing,
Hmm.
and motivating. And I guess it just kind of like literally motivates people and like makes you realize that anyone can go far and can be great. Like being a D3 player and then ending up in the NBA. You don't
Right.
hear that every day.
You're absolutely right.
And I guess more when I was younger growing up, like Sue Bird, that was just like everyone's idol.
Hmm.
And she's still like, how many years later, the GOAT.
Right. Right. Whoa, with that goat talk, but okay, we can. She's pretty damn good, but I understand that. Yeah. Um, follow up because you mentioned Duncan Robinson, and what makes him different than other players that's currently playing in the NBA and also in the NBA.
I feel like he did it himself more so than like other people. He didn't have as much opportunities, I feel like, than other people, you know, coming from a D3 school. Like these other people are coming out of like 19 years old, like whatever, out of crazy colleges, top schools. And
Right.
here he is out of where? Like nowhere, you know?
Right. Yeah, that's a great story, actually. Pretty inspiring. Okay, what you got?
What advice do you have for current senior athletes during this current time of what's with everything going on? And yeah.
This may not be popular, and I mentioned it on the podcast not so long ago. For this year and this year only, I'm an advocate for either reclassing and or post-grad situations. It's quite obvious due to the circumstances we are in right now, colleges are relying not solely, heavily on the transfer portal as far as attracting players to their programs. With that being said, the high school senior, at least for this year, 21s, I don't foresee them reaching back to get a 21 to be able to come in and, give them a scholarship initially. Sadly, I think that's the case, but and I'm not a proponent of reclassing except for this particular year or these years moving forward, because I just felt there was I'm not a big fan of reclassing or post grad. If you're using it for basketball reasons, if you're using it for academic reasons, you need to increase your GPA for whatever reason, for whatever reason, that's different. But for solely basketball sports, not a fan of it. So I would definitely say that if you have the opportunity, look into it as far as reclassing or PGing for this particular year, because we are in a funny world right now.
Yeah, I remember you a few months back telling me not to reclass.
Yeah, no, and then it became obvious like we weren't going to get out of the situation we were in. I think that was maybe like April, May. I was telling you that, or I mentioned that.
Yeah, I think around
whenever people started playing various basketball games in the summer. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, I've since changed only because of the current times that we are in right now.
Yeah, I get that too.
Yeah. Okay.
Next question.
All right, my question. Being that I think that we are in a funny world right now, and a lot of unrest in America as far as social issues are concerned. Obviously, we have the racial discrimination stuff that's going on. We have the equality issues that's going on. But what major social issue has really piqued your interest as far as something that you're very interested in? And if there is one, why?
Definitely the whole racial issue, because, growing up, being a basketball player, the basketball world is extremely diverse. And I never understood how people couldn't, at the end of the day, for example, we're on the same team. Right. We're wearing the same jersey. We're trying to score in the same basket, using the same ball. I don't understand how there could be how it's so controversial and how there's so much problems out of nothing. I don't know. And, having so many friends with different backgrounds, different coming from different countries all over. I don't know. That's my biggest world issue, I guess.
Do you think that sport as a whole, whether it's soccer, basketball, highlight, handball, whatever the case may be, has the ability to break down racial barriers?
For sure. I feel personally, because I'm a basketball player and the basketball world is controversial, I understand why there should be no problem. But there's many people clearly that have a problem with it. And maybe if they played a sport where, the sport's diverse, they'd understand and they'd have a bigger picture.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Great answer. All right, you're up. This is 3 coming up. This is the third one coming up.
I think this is the fourth one.
Okay, you're moving right along. Okay.
What are the ultimate key points that make a great player to you?
In addition to the skill set.
Yeah, in addition to their skill set.
Okay, obviously you have to be pretty fucking good. And that goes to the skill set. I would say a mindset, and I hate to RIP, like those that know, he's like one of my goats. Kobe Bryant and his mama mentality message is and Michael Jordan, you have to have a certain mindset in order to be successful at anything you decide to do. It could be the world of business, it could be basketball, it could be soccer, whatever the case may be. If you don't have a certain mindset that you're not going to quit, or if you're not going to necessarily give up, or you're just not going to be in a position where you're not going to be denied what your goals are, or you can figure out a different route to get to your goals, but at least you try to get to your goal. I think the mindset is key. I think it's 98% of the time it's the mindset. I think that's the big, and I think that in basketball training and also the basketball world, it prepares players for the real world because of, again, the 7 a.m. workouts. All right, it's a motherfucker, right? So you have to have the will and the drive to get up at 5 o'clock to get in your car to drive for the 7 o'clock practice. And 7 o'clock practice really means be there at 6:30, 6:45. So you kind of got to be on time. You got to be obviously punctual. You have to be ready to go. You have to have a nice winning attitude. You have to work within a team concept. All of those things prepare you for life. And I think that sport as a whole does that, but it takes a certain mindset for that to happen. You just can't be a lazy fucker and just assume that it's going to happen. You have to have a certain mindset that I want this and I want to do this for my team and myself.
I agree. And follow-up question, what separates a great player and a good player, or as you would say, a bum, super bum, mega bum?
Wash bum. For that particular, it's just age. It's like bums are regular high school, non-high school players. Still bums are high school players. Super bums are college players, and it can be any level of college player.
Mega bum pro.
Mega bum is you getting a check for it now. You're getting the money. You're a professional. And wash bum is where I thrive. That's my area.
What is yours? What kind of bum?
Washed
bum.
Washed is over.
That's why you can't shoot anymore.
I had one bad day of shooting, but I'll be back. I'll get in the gym tomorrow. But yeah. But yeah.
You can do knees first.
Yeah, all right. Focus. All right. Yeah. But the mindset is different. Like I mentioned earlier, it's the mindset that separates a good player and a great player. And it's just like, and situations too. You can have a great mindset, but if you're not in a good situation, from the top, bottom, administration or organization all the way down, your mindset will be affected. So I've seen players that do well that suck like shit in high school, go to college and they flourish and they're doing very well in college because their environment is completely different and they're a little more motivated than they normally were and they just flourish. So a lot goes into it, but mostly the mindset. Okay, I'm up. All right. Role modeling. All right. So that's something that's big nowadays, and people must, I grew up idolizing Muhammad Ali, Michael Jordans of the world. Who would you say you would consider outside of your parents to be your role model?
Give me a second. Outside of my parents. I would say my uncle Mike.
Okay, what's up, Mike? And why?
He's just so adventurous and happy and like he makes the best out of every situation and he's always a fun time and I want to be his age one day and be happy. Like he he used to always take me out on hikes. Like it'd be a nice day, we'd go on bike rides.
Mm-hmm.
He just always like pushed me to be outside, and like he would play me in basketball, street ball. He'd
Mm-hmm.
push me around. He would not take me easy.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that would be one of my few role models.
Okay, I got you. Anybody on the celebrity side?
There's too many, honestly.
Okay, give me one. Give me two. Give me two.
I mean, obviously, everyone wants to be like Kobe Bryant. You know, Mamba mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? I feel like there's too many celebrities to even go on. You get
Okay.
it.
Okay, I got you. One more question. All right, I'll save this question for later. All right, go ahead. You're up.
Okay. How are you affected by the current pandemic?
Initially, it was a pain in the ass, obviously, for not only for basketball, but for me as a person. You know, just being a person, a human being. You seen all the ravishing. You heard all the ravishing stories and all the bullshit that's attached to the pandemic. Sadly, you know, many people have lost, and I lost a couple close friends also. But since, you know, we've rebounded, we went to Zoom as far as our training was concerned, which was obviously helpful. We got people through the hump and gave people an opportunity to do something in their basement, do something just to get moving a little bit. That helped everyone involved, and it helped us also. Since, you know, New York City opened up a little bit, we've been able to travel a little bit more and get back out there as far as training is concerned. Obviously, taking, you know, proper precautions and going through the protocols and stuff like that. And but ultimately, it's made me dedicate a lot more to my health, as far as staying in shape, because I was in good shape. I'm not that I'm in great shape now, like go to the NBA shape, but I'm able to, you know, get out there and jog 2 or 3 miles a day when my knees are allowed, because that's the wash. You know, when you wash, your knees are done. But it gave me an opportunity to, you know, readjust my health issues and try to get better and family wise, as far as, you know, enjoying the time that I spend with my family, particularly my son. Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things is just being around family, your health, and understanding that the chase for wealth, it doesn't supersede the love for health and family. That was some Hallmark type shit, right? I just said right there.
I see the snap stories of the miles you run. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, Miles. That's me, Miles. Miles.
I'm
Don't get it. I'm not going fast. But to tie it all in, it's the marathon, not the sprint, that matters. Ooh. All right, last one. Me for you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 5 years from now, all right, let's go 6 years.
Okay.
Let's say you go through the PG reclass situation. So now that's your first year. So you have 4 years of college, and then you have that fifth year of real world. Where are you, and what are your goals? What's your major intent when you get to college? What do you want to be when you grow up? What's going on with you as far as the future is concerned? Predict.
Okay. Wow. 5 years. I'll be how old? I'm 17, 22. All right. I'll be 22 years old. I plan on maybe being a business major.
Okay. Well, that's vague. That's general. What particular area of business?
I haven't gotten that far, but
okay.
Maybe I'll be an influencer.
Okay. Okay. I'll give you some career advice in a minute, but go ahead.
So yeah, hopefully I'll be successful. I'll have a steady job, but like more importantly, I want to be happy, and I'll probably still be living at home at 22, but I mean, unless I'm so successful that I don't have to. I hope that I'm still working out.
Mhm.
I plan on staying in fit. I actually, like, after college and like basketball, I plan on like really getting into the gym more. Like, I go to the gym every day now, but what I do now isn't like, I don't have time to learn about the specific things that I want to like get better on, because right now I'm working out for basketball body, but like, I
Right.
want to work out as for myself and the ideal body that I want to have
Gotcha.
around that time. So yeah, I plan on just being really fit. Yeah, I can't really see that far. 5 years is a
Okay.
little.
It really is. I can't lie to you. So what I'm hearing is successful. Start your path to be a business person. Major in some type of business. Um, I would suggest taking something that's your passion, like basketball is my passion, and you merge that with your business ability, and you create. And you can do that now. You can do this now. Start doing ratings, teen ratings on places to eat as a teen, and because you like food and you do a very good job of hitting a lot of different various restaurants, I would suggest you do something like that and start the ball rolling in that, because that's like a niche that nobody's really addressing, because teens stay fit as a teen and create like a blog, a video blog, a blog, and just start talking about food because you like to eat, and then also translate that into fitness for food, or food for fitness, something along those lines.
Yeah. Damn, you might have just made me a rich woman one day.
Yeah, but I have documentation that said that Mark Williams on Team Footprints.
You'll get your cut. Don't worry.
Yeah, I need my cut right off the top. Right off the top. I think that's it. Oh, that was it for me, or that was it for you? Who's last? You last?
Yeah, we had 4. But I kind of have another question, but I'm not sure if this is too controversial or not. So you might, but whatever. What differences do you see on the girls' end and the boys' end?
That's not controversial. That was real easy. With the female athletes compared to the male athletes, the female athletes is a constant pumping up of the ego and their confidence, and establishing a great self-esteem image of themselves, whereas the guys is bringing them down a notch or 2 or 3 to reality, because most of the male athletes that I attract, or we attract to Team Footprints, seem to think that they're on par with the LeBron Jameses, the Jalen Greens, the Jonathan Kumingas, that they're really, really, really good. But that may not be the case as of right now. They may grow into that, but it's not right now. So it's just like a difference as far as it's boosting up the ego and confidence of the young ladies, and it's bringing down the ego of the young men. And I'm sure at your in the high school level, you probably see kids that are guys that are arrogant, cocky, for no fucking reason.
Oh yeah.
And then basketball wise, and then you see young ladies that are very, very good that don't believe that they're very, very good.
Yeah, you do see that. I do see that.
There you go. That's the difference as far as the mentality. As far as the training is concerned, basketball is basketball.
Mhm.
But
And I feel like personally, confidence like totally affects my game. So
you're not alone. And why is that?
I don't know. I feel like when I have confidence, I play so much better. So much better.
Yeah, that's everyone. But so how do you? Now we're getting into some mental shit. How does one such as yourself get to that point where you're confident?
I don't know. I guess like, first of all, like if you start off the game and you hit like one of the first shots, or you make like the first steal, I feel like that like sets the bar for the game. You're like, all right, I'm feeling it. And then, when you don't, or when you miss your first shot, or you make a mistake, or you get irritated at something, I feel like it just brings you down, and yeah, kind of brings you down the whole game and affects the play.
I can see that. But remember we spoke about the difference between a great player and a good player and the mindset. So and you know, and we hate to keep going back to this guy, and I RIP to him. Kobe Bryant, you have to have that certain Michael Jordan, you have to have that certain type of mentality where you miss your first 3 shots or 4 shots. The 5th one is good. And the only reason you know that it's good is because you put the work in to make that a reality. If you don't believe in the work that you're doing, then what the fuck are you doing? That's basically it. So like, and you know, when you train with me, I'm constantly talking to people throughout the whole session. Whether it's get your elbow underneath the ball, you can make it. Let's shoot it, fuck it, let it go. If you don't make it, you don't make it. But let's learn from that experience. And that's something that most coaches and trainers lack, I see, in inspiring and providing confidence of players. That's just my take on it. That's it.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
That's it.
Also, off the record, I wanted to ask you something.
Okay. So with that being said, we're going to end this. We're going to end this question segment. We have Miss Edwards, St. Francis Prep, class of 21, as of right now, possibly moving to 22. We don't know. Plays currently for Riverside Church, the Hawks Church. I'm old school, the church. Yeah. You want to give everybody your socials just so that they can keep in contact with you and then follow you when you start your blog and your blog, right?
Yeah. Follow me on Instagram at Caleigh.Edwards. Got me famous.